My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need! And I hope you enjoy the video.
So we are coming up to almost exactly a year since that PlayStation 5 has dropped and that Xbox Series X. You know, next gen consoles have been almost exactly a year now. Just unfortunate that almost a year in, some people still can't find this junk. Do you know how pissed I would be if I wanted a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and I still could not get one in stores because of the goddamn scalpers? Somebody gotta die. You know how many times I've heard people tell me, bro, I was on Walmart or Target or whatever other website, and they said to be here at this time. I was waiting, nothing happened, and I refreshed the page, and they sold out of PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X. I'm like, bro, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. I've heard that story so many times this year, so it is like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Hopefully Sony and Microsoft can get a better handle on this going into 2022, since you know this is gonna kind of be year two since the pandemic has gone on. I know a lot of people that just want one PlayStation 5 or just one Xbox Series X, and if you really want one, like, if you really want one right now, you're gonna have to pay extra, period. You are gonna have to go on eBay or Newegg or wherever where these freaking scalpers are selling their PS5s, and you're gonna have to pay extra, period. Like, that's just what's going to have to happen. And the fact that some people have to resort to that because it is that hard to get your hands on just one sucks. But yeah, moving on from that, though I do feel like we haven't in particular got a quote-unquote next-gen game yet on either platforms, to be honest. I mean, you can make the argument for a few titles, but to each his own. I do feel like this first year of next gen has been pretty solid for the most part, especially compared to, I don't know if y'all remember that first year of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Lord have mercy. Games like Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, Demon's Souls Remake, Resident Evil 8, Kenna, Tales of Arise, Guardians of the Galaxy. We got Battlefield and Halo coming real soon. Director's cuts, PS5 enhancements, Xbox Series X enhancements. Oh yeah, I mean, just from the games department, first year of next gen compared to the first year of last gen, I don't even think it's close. For me, again, I will always be a fan of backwards compatibility. I love just being able to, if I wanted to go back to last gen or a previous gen before that and being able to just pop in the disc. I think on Xbox Series X, can't you play Xbox One games, 360 games, and maybe with the original, like the real Xbox One? So I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, if you have an Xbox Series X, how deep does the backwards compatibility go with Series X? I will always be a fan of that, bro. Always. Another thing, though there has been remasters and remakes or director's cuts, as they want to call them now, some fancy word, I don't know, but but though there has been like stuff like that in this first year, I don't feel like I feel like it's been a better balance. There was a time period with PS4, you could maybe say maybe the first 3-4 years, honestly, to where some of the best games that we were getting were remasters. This stuff is still going on, but again, I feel like between then we have a good balance of actual brand new titles still dropping. So I feel like that has also been better with these next gen consoles in the first year compared to the first year of last gen. Another thing, and I mentioned this before a few months ago with the PS5 controller, aka the haptics controller. Though this is a great controller, I love this controller. I do think it is better than the PlayStation 4 controller. In some aspects, I still feel like I cannot play fighting games on the PS5 controller. It just feels weird. I do think this is a overall better controller than the PS4 controller. But yeah, like I said before, I do think, you know, the whole haptics feature and all that other stuff and the adaptive triggers and all that, I do feel like it was a little overhyped. They were saying all this crazy stuff about, you know, the haptics and the adaptive triggers. The adaptive triggers have been, you know, noticed in a few games. I think in Miles Morales and NBA 2K, Astro's Playroom, etc. But like the whole I don't even know. I truly don't even know what the haptics mean. Like, I know I say that junk a lot. The haptics! I don't even know what the junk mean. I really don't. Like, I don't know what the haptics does. I do know what the adaptive triggers do, because you see it used more in, you know, the games. But yeah, and this has been an ongoing issue for Sony. I hope you guys are not hearing my freaking chair squeaking. Sony has had 6-axis in their controllers since PlayStation 3 going forward, right? The PlayStation 4, they freaking add in the touchpad and all this other different stuff. Now you got haptics, adaptive triggers, touchpad, 6-axis. Why do we not see, like, more big titles actually use the PS5 controller to, like, you know, to its utmost potential? Like, you'll see a few games do it at like launch, but it seems like devs always stray away from that. They always do it. I mean, again, this is going back to PlayStation 3. You only see, you know, really what these controllers can do in game when, like, you play what? You know, like freaking point and click games, you know, freaking interactive, you know, story driven games like, you know, Detroit Become Human or Astro's Playroom or freaking, I don't know, a freaking Telltale game, something like that. You know, those are when, like, those games like that is the only time you really see, you know, them use the 6-axis or the touchpad or the adaptive triggers or the haptics. I'm tired of that. I don't know if that's just me. I want to see what this controller can do with the big games. Like, when, like, the big titles come out, I want to see devs develop their games, especially if it's a PlayStation exclusive, with the freaking haptics PS5 controller in mind. Like, why not? It'll add to the experience. Again, that's why Astro's Playroom, I feel like, for a lot of people, was such a shockingly great game. Like, I feel like till this day, that is the only game that truly takes full advantage of what the PS5 controller can do. I don't have an Xbox Series X, so I can't really say, you know, what improvements that they've made from, you know, the Xbox One controller to the Xbox Series X controller. But one thing we do know, if there's one thing that Microsoft care about a whole bunch, and you can make the case they care about this more than actually getting good games, is their controllers. You know, so this has been, for me, a gripe that I've had with, again, I don't know if I blame Sony or like the devs. I don't really know, but this has been a gripe that I've personally had since PlayStation 3. So yeah, though this is a great controller, with all of, you know, with all of the stuff that they acclaim that it can do, and all this haptics and adaptive triggers and the touchpad and, you know, freaking sensation, I don't know, all the freaking high-tech stuff they say. Freaking Mark Cerny, come here. We're like, all that stuff they say, I must tell you, it doesn't deliver as far as like how they advertise this controller. Maybe that's just a nitpick of mine, but that's how I feel like. The UI of the PlayStation 5, if you guys remember, when I was, you know, kind of doing my first impressions of a PS5 when it was out, I wasn't feeling the UI at first. I really not. I really was not. It just seemed like everything was just like on top of each other. As time has went on, I must tell you, I am a fan of the PS5 UI. It's just clean. It's clean. It's sleek. It's seamless. I feel like they do a good job with categorizing everything from the games to the movies to all the other different stuff. It's just sleek. And at first, again, I didn't like the whole thing that like the PlayStation Store was like a part of, like, you know, the X and B, because on PS4, like when you went to the PlayStation Store, like it went into its own like app. on PS5, like it's a part, like it's just a part of the X and B. Like everything on the X and B is just like combined together. It's just faster. It's more seamless. You can get to just everything quicker. Again, with the SSD, things just load faster. And yeah, that is one thing that I do feel like completely changed for me. I do want to see some new features though. Like I feel like, you know, going from the PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One to Xbox Series X, I don't really feel like, you know, outside of a different layout with the UI, I don't feel like a lot of like actual new features have been added to as far as just like PSN and Xbox Live and stuff like that. People have talked about this before, but I would love to see, well, first off, freaking custom themes. I don't know if they have that on Xbox Series X. They might, but on PS5, I would like to see custom themes. I would also like to see some type of gifting system, the same way that you can like gift games to people on a Steam. I don't know why you should not be able to do that on PSN or Xbox Live. Like if a friend or someone like is playing a game and they think is really great and they want their friend to play it, or is their birthday soon, like why not be able to purchase a game and then like send that game to whoever you want, and like it's like gifting games on PSN or Xbox Live. I think that would be great. Trophies, achievements, they're great, but I do want them. I don't know. I just feel like they should do something else with it. I've heard people talk about this before. Like if you get platinums for like certain games, if they're like really hard games, maybe like reward them a $10, $20 PSN card. In the current way trophies are and achievements are is great, but I would just like it to be more like, I don't know, I guess competitive is the word that I'm looking for. I don't know, but I would just like them to, you know, just add some type of new spice with trophies and achievements. You know, I don't know what that could be, but I do want it to be kind of like a bigger emphasis. I would love, but I don't think this is going to happen, but I would think it would be very interesting to see what Sony could do with PlayStation Home today. If y'all suckers remember PlayStation Home, like back on PS3, that might be before a little bit of y'all suckers' times out there. I don't know, we got some Zoomers out here now. But if you guys remember when PlayStation Home came out, you know, it came out on PS3 and it was good. I still I still remember when PlayStation Home first came out and they had that junk on open mic.
Talk about your whole ass. Fuck you, now.
Guess how long that lasted? That joke was so toxic, but it was fun, bro. Like that, I think they took off like open mic within like a month. It was just crazy, but yeah, I mean, if you remember PlayStation Home, what they were trying to do with that, I think it was cool, but maybe at that time, especially on PlayStation 3. It just probably couldn't, you know, work at that time. But I feel like now in 2021, going into 2022 on PlayStation 5, I think it would be really interesting to see what PlayStation Home could be now. Have that literally be a part of PSN. Like it could be so, I truly think, and freaking, especially with freaking Facebook doing the freaking doing the metaverse and all this other stuff, and you know, you're hearing about this freaking augmented reality, freaking reality and VR and all this different stuff. If that's truly the direction that we are going in, which, you know, I mean, it's possible. PlayStation Home could be perfect for that. I don't know if they have that in like the works, trying to bring back PlayStation Home, but think about it. PSN is great the way it is, but if they brought back PlayStation Home and had that as a part of PSN, I've been saying for years, I think PlayStation Now should be a part of PS Plus. Like once you buy PS Plus, you get PlayStation Now with it. I feel like PlayStation Now would get used more. You know, so if they add PlayStation Now to PSN and they bring back, don't call it a comeback, PlayStation Home in today's world, bro, I don't know, like that might cause for a PSN price increase, by the way. But I just, moral of the story, I think PlayStation Home today has a lot of potential. That's pretty much all I have to say about you know, these next gen consoles in their first year. I truly, you know, looking back again, we've had dry moments, and I vividly remember me being like, listen, I know y'all suckers can't find PS5s, but trust me, I have one and they ain't jack to play right now. Like, I know I said that a few months ago, but looking back, bro, as you know, we're winding down towards the end of this year, this was a really solid year for, you know, next gen consoles. In their first year, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, this was about as good as it could get, I feel like. And then the games we got supposedly dropping next year.
Lit, get.
But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are y'all thoughts, your impressions, your review of PlayStation 5 in its first year, or Xbox Series X in its first year? Hope you guys are having a great weekend. So the next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch y'all boys in my next one, all right?